What's up, everybody? Michael Silva here. You're watching episode 10 of The Weekly Scam.
The Weekly Scam.
This is the series that's all about finding opportunities in the stock market for the week ahead. In today's episode, we will be discussing 5 different stocks. And as for a quick disclaimer, these videos are for entertainment and educational purposes only. I am by no means recommending any of these to add into your portfolio. Please seek help from a professional if you plan on investing. With all that said, let's go ahead and hop into today's Weekly Scam. Shit. Welcome to the computer. We are going to be going over these 5 charts. I changed the look of my charts here on stockcharts.com. I used to just have a white background with kind of yellow going around. I thought this was more prettier and it looks easier on the eyes. If you want to know how I did this, in stockcharts.com there is a setting called sunset. It's a theme and it just makes it like this. I didn't do a logarithmic chart, and then I did solid candles with some extra bars here on the side. So if you ever want to make your own charts, that's how I do it. Let's go ahead and hop into the episode. The first ticker symbol we will be going over is ticker symbol SAVE. That's Spirit Airlines. Now, right out of the gate, what jumps to me here is volume, okay? This came up on my scanner for high volume comparatively to where it's been in the past. As you can see, significantly higher volume. Now, what's even cooler about seeing all this significant volume is look at the price action. It hardly even budged. Not even really a move. So that really got me thinking, what's going on behind the scenes with this company? Who's putting all these shares? Who's trading them back and forth? Where's the money coming from? So it gets you thinking that, hey, potentially we might be seeing some big moves here. So this is going to be one to keep a close eye on. As far as the indicators go, it looks like the MACD is crossing over. That's somewhat bearish, but like I said, it's still early in this process with the high volume. So who knows? This can just easily bounce back and start moving to the more bullish direction. The RSI isn't showing us too much. It's a little in the oversold area, just about. It's right at the 30 to 36 range. So it's not giving us too much data like it did previously in this range. So that's nothing going on to there. As far as a pattern goes, it's below the 50-day moving average, right? And it's below the 200-day. There's a big separation between the two. So that is bearish. Now, the only thing really bullish going in our direction here for making this a long trade is got somewhat of a little bit of an uptrend here, or maybe even potentially a double bottom, or I would even say potentially even a triangle, kind of like, you know, it kind of looks like that. It's kind of like a triangle coming together, or you know, whatever you'd like to call it. But I like this setup because of the volume. And typically when it reaches down to these points, you see a run up, like it did from $7 to $18, from $10 to $15, from $11 to $16, from $9. You get to see all this volume. Who knows where this can go? But hey, if it goes up to the upside, even to here, that's from $10.56 to $15 basically, and then you might even see a break to the upside. So this chart I will be keeping a very close eye on coming in the week ahead. It's probably one of my more favorite setups out of all of these, but let's go ahead and hop into the other ones. All right, this is ticker symbol TK for TK Corp. Pretty creative. I just wanted to kind of point this one out. This one really did have an interesting trend line that did break above it. So if I go from up here to this point and then come all the way down to here, as you can see, it had this hammer candle and started moving upwards, kind of like this bull flag in a way right here. And then we saw the break out above and basically squeezed from $3 all the way up to $4.88. Now, what I'm starting to see here is the back test, the retest. It was an aggressive move up in just a couple of days, and then it took some time to come back down. So I do see that it is right at the 50-day period moving average, and we're starting to see kind of like a little bounce from that point. So I'm kind of curious to know if this can, you know, bounce up, come back even lower to retest, and then maybe even move more to the upside, or potentially that this bounce right here was the quote-unquote retest. I mean, because we can draw it out a couple of ways. We could technically go from this point down here up to here, right? I mean, we could technically do that. It doesn't make as much sense, but it does from up here, and then kind of came, you know, broke above it, and then back tested right here. So that could have been the retest. So how I'd like to play something like this, if you wanted to see about capturing these type of gains, I would hope for like it to pull back just a tad bit more. I mean, this was a pretty bullish move, but if it can pull back a little bit more, you know, to the just above $3 range, 313 to 325, this range here, have a stop loss right under here, and then play it like that, and then you might be able to catch some more moves to the upside. I will say that this does look like it consolidated because of the big volume breakout, and then the volume really died out here. It's really suffocating the volume kind of out. So I think that it might pull back a little bit further, and then we might see a move more to the upside, or that was all it had. That was the steam, and boom, back test, and it might break back down. So it's hard to say at this point, but I do kind of like this back test play. One other thing to point out here is that this creates a lot of fear and panic, and sometimes when you have a lot of fear and panic and it bounces around a previous area of support, so clearly this was support, that line, it came down, bounced from it, you know, kind of held around here, boom, and then finally broke down, resisted, and then finally broke above. Now what we're seeing is it come back to this same exact support. So that might have been the bounce, and we might see more to the upside as of right now. So I would personally want to enter in, like I said, right here, have a tight stop loss, and then play it like that. Pretty cool little setup, nothing too crazy right there. Let's move on to the next. Okay, this is ticker symbol MITT. Another thing that just basically sticks out to me here, very similar to the first chart, is the amount of volume that came in. That's an incredible amount of volume, especially when you start seeing it like this. So this was down 22%. So you see this huge gap down, which is very bearish, but then the bulls were like, no way, I'm gonna start buying up into this, and then they did. This could be considered somewhat of a double bottom because of this point right here, and it touched, you know, pretty close to that point there. So this might be just a double bottom play, and we might see more upside move from this point, and potentially with this amount of volume, we might see it come up to the $3 range and then break through. So nice little setup right there. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out throughout the week. That's, like I said, you know, an incredible amount of volume. The RSI indicator was just about to head into oversold territory, which means that, hey, this could be a decent value to purchase shares. And I think some people picked up on that. So that's kind of interesting. We'll be keeping a close eye on this one for the break up and above. Let's move to the next. This is ticker symbol ENLC for ENLC midstream. Sha-da-da-da-da, boom, boom. Okay, so what do we got going on here? Well, pretty simple. It looks like a little bear flag. That's about it, right? Little bear flag. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That's the pattern. Nothing too much going on with the indicators. MACD kind of looks flat. It is above 0. And then the RSI, not giving us much. It's right in the 50 range. So I'm kind of thinking, hey, that it broke out, it kind of started moving up to the upside. Now it consolidated these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This last week it consolidated right by the 50 period moving average. As you can see, it did not break below it. And then this last day, it's pretty interesting. It gapped up, came all the way down, retested the 50-day moving average, and then moved up for a 2% gain. And it formed a hammer candle, which was by an interesting level of support. So if you just basically draw it from here to here, that hammer candle, it pulled back, quarter a hammer candle, which makes me think that, hey, potentially we might see it move higher to the upside. I would like to see it happen on more volume. Like, it would be nice to see the volume just skyrocket up to 15, and then it would give all the more confirmation that, hey, we're gonna see a breakout of this little bear flag or bear pennant pattern. So keep a close eye on this one, ENLC. Nice little pattern. Let's move on to the last. All right, we're here at the last one, ticker symbol NKTR, Nectar Therapeutics. This is not, so those all that I went over were really more kind of for the long position. This one is more of a short position. What I'm seeing here is a very interesting trend line from this point to basically like through this. So we had the price pull all the way back, right, from there to here, and then we had it kind of up in this trend line, kind of just nicely cruising, and then it got the trend line broke, okay, it came back, and then retested for this last previous day. But what's interesting is the price action that formed on this day was a gigantic reversal candle by the 200 period moving average on pretty significant volume. So my kind of thought process here, and by the way, you got to keep in mind short-sided trades, you need to be more aggressive. They're more dangerous. So if you don't have experience shorting, I wouldn't recommend it. Because sometimes these, are complete fake outs. But what to me this looks like, it looks like the bulls stepped up and they really tried to start moving above this trend line to reclose above it, but got rejected pretty significantly to close right by where that trend line was. So it's really going to depend on where this opens tomorrow, but this does look bearish from this standpoint where we'll see this reversal start taking place. It did happen, this hammer candle happened at the top of this move up, which gives me more kind of, ammunition, I guess you can say, or more, confidence, that would be the better word, to see more of a pullback. And this is an aggressive moving stock, okay? This one day, it came from a low of basically $20, let's say, up to let's say 23. So about a $3 move in the price in a simple day. So keep in mind, this is an extremely volatile and fast moving stock. Does look like it has some downside move, a pullback about to happen, but time will tell on this one. All right, guys, that is all I have for you this week on the weekly scan. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbreaks, leave them in the comment section below. Hasta la vista.